Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
I was also fortunate enough to interview a lot of the cast members of the games, and I'm just really excited to include you in the event.
Well, thanks. I know that you saw them first, and then I don't know why I missed your invite because it goes to a different part of
Yeah.
your Facebook inbox, and I never checked that. When I looked at it, I had about 50 messages I didn't know were there, including maybe 100 marriage proposals that I wasn't aware of. But
But yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm glad you got to find it, and we were able to set this up.
I'm glad too.
I got a whole bunch of questions regarding the game and your stunt work, and I'm just excited to dive in and talk about it with
Oh,
you.
well, hey, let's go. I'll do my best, you know. I'll do my best.
So how did you become involved with the Guardians of the Galaxy game project?
It was done the same way that most of my projects, if it's regarding acting, come. I have an agent, right? And I live just outside of Montreal. And usually you'll get a notice about a project that your agent thinks you're right for, and she submits you to a casting director. And then the casting director, if they feel you're appropriate, they invite you to the audition. So that's how it started. The thing that was interesting with it was I actually auditioned, this was pre-COVID, of course. I actually auditioned with groups of other people that the casting director thought would be good for the other Guardians as well. Okay. And so I played Drax to maybe 3 other groups. And what's an interesting tidbit is the guy that plays Groot, Robert Moncalm, actually auditioned for Star-Lord in one of the groups. And I've known Robert for a few years before that because we also know each other from another video game that I work on. And he was doing stunt work on some television shows that I was also part of. So we know each other a little bit outside the game as well.
And what was it like to work with this cast on the game?
It was amazing. Honestly, it was a very unique and special experience that I hope I can get a chance to do it again. It was really great. Every single one of the cast feels like my family. You know, I met John first. Let's see, I believe I met John and Sarah, the girl who plays Lady Hellbender, first. And then the other Guardians came after. And but when we all got in the room together, it was just everyone was so in tune with their character. That was what was really, really interesting. They all had very particular takes, like a unique view on how their character should be. But as you know, like that doesn't always necessarily mean that you as a group are going to work together. And then as soon as we started just riffing off each other, it was like magic was happening. And I guess you can sort of tell that when you play the game.
For sure. The game is really, really fun to play. It's probably one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah, I had a great time with it. I only just finished it last week because I play really slow.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't play very many, but I was surprised at how much I had forgotten because, you know, we've been recording dialogue for 4 years. So obviously I don't remember everything. There are some scenes that, yes, those I'll never forget. But a lot of the incidental dialogue, my God, I completely forgot it. I was like, oh, wow, did I really say that? Yep, I guess I did.
Yeah, you definitely had some funny lines. So were you a Marvel fan before you signed on?
Oh yeah, huge. Growing up as a kid, yeah, my favorites were Moon Knight, Daredevil, and after that, Shang-Chi. Because I started training in martial arts, and then I started trying to find anything I could that was martial art related. I actually have a signed Shang-Chi by one of the original artists, Gene Day, somewhere in my bookcase.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Is Shang-Chi the reason you became involved in stunts?
it was part of it. Yeah, it was part of it. I grew up, my first experience watching martial arts, because I'm actually an American, but I live in Canada now. I was uh, living in a small town in northern Maine, and I used to get picked on a lot. Right, I used to get beat up a lot by people, and I always wished that I could fight like David Carradine in Kung Fu. And so that was my first experience seeing martial arts. And so as soon as I moved out of the small town and moved closer to a city that had martial arts instruction, I started training. And then by training, then I became interested in martial arts films, and that exposed me to Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and the rest of it. And that's kind of how that started.
All the grades.
Yeah.
um,
And yeah, it has served me in the stunt work very well.
so how did you prepare to play the character of Drax? Did you look back at the comics or watch the movies?
Yeah, I did. My first, obviously, my first exposure to Drax was like most people. It was watching Dave Bautista in the movies. I wasn't that familiar with who the Guardians were, because I never reading the Marvel comics, all the space side of it, I never paid too much attention to it.
Right.
Sort of the same with DC. Like I like the DC characters, but you know, my faves are the more grounded heroes like Batman and the rest of them. I didn't get too much into Green Lantern or any of that, but when I saw the movie, I loved it. And I saw Justice League, I liked it more or less.
Snyder Cut is definitely better for me.
Yeah, yeah, I like the Snyder Cut better. There's no question. But anyway, to get back to it, so I saw the movies and I saw what Dave was doing with the role, and I understood what he was going for. And when the script for Guardians came around, though, some of the, I believe Mary told me early, she says, there's some aspects of Drax that we're going to keep. We're going to, we're going to point to it in the game the same as the movies. Like he'll have the same sort of sense of humor in that he doesn't understand sarcasm and he takes everything literally. But we're going to change some other aspects. And she wasn't too clear about what that was going to be. She did give me a little bit of a heads up that we were going to deal with the loss of his family, but that was it. And then I didn't, because the game takes 4 years, I didn't quite get to that part, maybe 2 years into the game.
Okay.
So, and it's hard because you shoot everything out of sequence, right? It's not like a movie script where you get the whole story ahead of time. So I was getting bits and pieces, but at every different part of the journey. Some parts of the journey were later in the story, and my relationship to a character would be different than, say, it was in the beginning of the story. And so I had to rely on the director to tell me kind of, oh, where are we and what is this? Because the way they code the script is not something I'm particularly familiar with when they do it for games. They give it a different chapter and a different designation, and I didn't always quite know where I was, but then I would just have to ask the director and he'd pretty much point me the right way. As for the other aspects of the character, I know this will sound strange, but I looked at a lot of old adventure movies because actors from that time period had a certain way of speaking. They tended to be a little bit larger than life. And the way they present themselves was maybe a bit more theatrical. And because Drax uses such colorful language, I kind of felt like it needed that sort of energy to pull off that vibe, if that makes any sense. So I looked at people like Alan Hale Sr., who played Little John in Errol Flynn's Robin Hood. I looked at Yul Brynner in just about anything, and other certain performers that I felt had that way of carrying themselves and speaking that I felt like would be appropriate for Drax.
And speaking of working on the project, is it easy to transition into the game role, or is it harder to work on compared to what you're used to for film and TV?
It's a little bit, maybe a little bit of both. Like it's easier in the sense that once you know what the grounding of the character is, you just go for it. In some ways easier because a lot of the dialogue, or some, rather, I shouldn't say a lot, some of the dialogue didn't have to be memorized. We're in a motion capture suit, and some of it we were just kind of like looking at just before or reading it off the page. Other scenes, it was exactly like a film where I would be off book, and I would know the scene backwards and forwards, and prepare it the way I prepared it the way I would a stage play. Contrary to film and television, I mean, in some ways it's easier. Like, obviously, I'm not 6'3" and ripped like Drax is, but you know, the voice and the mannerisms still carry across. So for film and television, yeah, depends. I mean, is it easier or not? I guess it depends, as long as I'm not getting hit by a car while I'm saying the same amount of dialogue.
And speaking of Marvel projects, you got to be involved with the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
What was it like to be a part of that and then transition to Guardians of the Galaxy in a video game?
Well, obviously, when I was part of the X-Men, I had no clue about the game. The game came up literally 4 years ago, and I think my last X-Men movie might have been a little bit before the game started. The only thread that connects the two is it was the same casting director that gave me the call for Guardians as it was for the X-Men films. And that's about the only connection there.
It's still Marvel, so
it's still Marvel. Yeah, it's still Marvel, and it's still awesome. I think I've been killed by Wolverine maybe twice now. Yeah.
I'll have to look up your scenes and see if I can.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. I think it's in. Which is the last one? Is it?
Our Phoenix was the one that came out.
Right.
Last.
So is it that one? There's one where we end up underground, and we see Wolverine basically in a cameo. They're in the underground Canadian base where he first gets turned into Weapon X.
That would be Apocalypse, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay. So sorry. Yeah. I forgot, my memories kind of need to be jogged. Anyway, at one point he wakes up, he gets out of the tank, he's still got all the Weapon X stuff on him, and then he goes buck and just, you know, rampages and starts slicing and dicing everyone. In that run, like, he goes through about 12 soldiers. So I'm part of the first 3 that you see.
Okay.
And then later, maybe 6 soldiers down the line, I get killed again and thrown against the wall, but you won't see my face.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm supposed to be a different guy, right? So,
well, I'll definitely look at it and just watch it again, because I love watching those movies and discovering new things. So the game itself became really popular upon the release. I definitely really loved playing it. I thought it was one of the best games I played all year. Wow. The story and the gameplay and the effects were really, really phenomenal. Did you ever expect the game to become a hit?
No, I had no expectations. I didn't know if it would be a hit or not, because I play games a bit, but I'm not as immersed in that world as some of my other friends. Most of my friends that are working on the games are about 20 years younger than me. I'm almost 60, so I think the last game I played really, really intensely was the Deadpool one. I played all the superhero ones that I
playing that right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm playing it on my PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, same here. I mean, I still have my PlayStation 3. I had to buy a 4 just to be able to play Guardians. That's how behind I am. Before that, the last game I was really involved in was the Batman Arkham series, which I thought was, oh my God, it was awesome. Like, really, really awesome. But playing Guardians reminded me very much of the Arkham series. I thought, like, the story was awesome. The level of detail was amazing. You really felt like, after you were done playing, you really felt like you had spent time with the characters.
For sure.
That's exactly how I felt. Wait, what was your original question? What did you what did you ask? Did I go off track?
Expect the game to become a hit?
Oh, Yeah, because what I wanted to add was I don't know necessarily, given that there's so many games out there, so many different types of games for every type of personality, I don't really know what goes into the making of I can't quantify what makes a particularly successful game other than to say, is the gameplay immersive and interesting, and do you get involved in the experience? So that would be my only criteria. So no, I didn't know what to expect. I just worked really, really hard on the character. And as for the rest, it's out of my control. I don't, I don't know. But it seems like people are really enjoying it.
I for
The
sure
one
did.
thing I find surprising, I mean, I don't know if you found this, when you were hearing about the game coming out, a lot of people were expecting it to really not do well. Like there was a lot of, I don't know, maybe apprehension. And I guess that was due to other factors, but I'm glad that we dispelled that.
Well, for sure. I
Yeah.
definitely really enjoyed it. I was literally playing it all day, every day for a week until I finished it. Definitely
Oh,
something
you're a lot better
I
than
really
I am if it
enjoyed.
only took you a week. It took me forever. I
I
got
tried to
stuck. Am I allowed to give spoilers on the
go
interview?
right
Or
ahead.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got stuck at the part where I think we're in the ice caves, and I think it's where Mantis is riding around on Drax's back like a horse.
Oh yeah.
And at one point, you have to knock something over, like some kind of a ice bridge. And I'd gotten that far in the game without collecting many of Star-Lord's special abilities.
Oh, for
And there
sure.
was something you had to shoot, and there's a way to shoot where you double click and blow something up. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that. So I had to start over. I had to start the game over to go get
Oh
that
no.
ability so I could progress further in the game.
I only I remember that scene specifically. I know there's a couple of trickier parts there. I have to be more observant as I play because I like to just go at it most times.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that scene for sure. I know I died like 3 times throughout the entire game, but I
Three.
I
I
never really
can't even, I lost count how many I died. I died like forever. Like I was constantly restarting. But again, like I said, I don't play that often. So, but it was fun. The second time through, I'll say this. I did take my time more to go collect like all the things that are worth
yeah,
money in the game. So I spent more
upgrade.
time looking for those things, looking for the extra costumes and all the special stuff. And I actually started to enjoy it more because I started to see more of the art direction and the design of it. And I just took my time.
Yeah, for sure. I usually just like to go for it, but no, with these types of games, you have to be really observant. That's not easy for me, but that's kind of one of my autism traits. But that's something I have to learn how to do.
I mean, it's not easy for you to be observant, or you are very
I'm
like,
not very good at being observant about things,
okay.
but when it comes to games, I kind of have to pick that up quick. But real
Well, I
life
don't know if
situations is
you got it done in a week. I'd say that's better than me.
well, I have nothing else to do, so I'm sitting here all day, every day, just playing games.
Are you playing anything else right now?
I'm playing Deadpool right now. I had never played that game before until now.
You like it?
I'm loving it. It's really,
Yeah.
really funny.
Where are you at?
I'm hoping I get some games for Christmas, or who knows.
I'm sure you will. If
For
they're
sure.
on the list,
Yep, for sure.
I'm sure you
Um,
will.
One game I'm really looking forward to that comes out in February, I believe, is the Evil Dead game based on the
What?
franchise with Bruce Campbell.
What? No, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, they're making a new game based on the
Is he
franchise.
doing the voice?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's back. Even the cast of the TV show are back.
Oh my God. Will it play on the PS4?
Yep, there's going to be a PS4,
Oh,
Xbox, and PS5, PC.
oh, you're kidding. Hang on a
I
second.
didn't know about it until a few months ago, so I'm really excited.
I'm just gonna write that down because I cannot forget this. No, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan.
Oh, me too. I only discovered the series earlier this year because I was literally looking for something to watch. I started with season 1 of the show without knowing I needed to start with the movies.
What?
I
You
did.
saw the show before the movies?
Yeah, the season
Oh
one
my
I
God.
did. And then I
Okay,
went back to
so,
watch the movie before I finished off the show.
oh no. Well, the show is awesome. I mean, the show
It
is really
really
good,
is.
but it's like I kind of feel like some elements of it you must have been going, who is this guy? You know, unless you came from the beginning. Did you
Yeah.
after you got done the show, did you start from movie one?
Yep. Very
Okay.
beginning, 1, 2, and 3. I read some of the graphic novels so far. I ordered
Yeah.
them from the library. And now I'm really wishing there was another season of the show because it kind of
Yeah.
ended.
I thought it was good. I thought Bruce Campbell did great in like making him basically just the older version of Ash, and he's still a bit of a, you know, loser. It was just, I thought it was awesome. I
Oh my God.
love that series of movies.
Me too. I'm a horror fan, and I have to say, Evil Dead is literally my number one right now. And
Oh, that's cool.
And Scream is number 2.
Scream, yeah, seen it. Yeah, I like it, but no, if I had to compare between the two, I'd put Evil Dead way.
For sure, I agree with that.
Do you like any of Sam Raimi's other work?
Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah.
And I've seen Darkman.
Yeah.
And that was about it I can think of at the point. I'm
Oh,
sure he did other things that I
You didn't see, you have to see Quick and the Dead.
which one?
The Quick and the Dead. That's Sam Raimi's Western that he made with Leo DiCaprio and Sharon Stone.
All right, I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah, check it out. You'll like it.
All right. So I have 2 fun questions that I'm gonna wrap up this our chat here, and I wanted to know if you have a favorite superhero other than your character.
Yeah, well, like I named already, you know, I named Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan. And like from the Marvel universe, well, I was really into Daredevil, and I'm really into Moon Knight. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Marvel show, the
For
TV show.
sure.
Yeah.
I know that's what people wanted for years, but even I still don't really know who the character is. I have a book on hold at the library. But
Imagine Moon Knight is kind of like the Marvel Batman, but he's got a few different characteristics.
Right.
I don't want to denigrate him because he's got some other interesting aspects to his character that, you know, supernatural elements, which we'll be curious to see what they do in the TV show, but you know, we'll see where they go.
Yeah,
And then there was
I know Oscar Isaac is going to be great regardless.
no doubt.
This is literally going to be my introduction to the character, and there's a lot of characters I discovered in recent years with the Marvel movies that I never even heard of, like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm new to everything, and I still got to introduce myself to some stuff.
Well, for me, it was the same. Like, I wouldn't have known who the Guardians were unless I'd seen the films. And then after watching the films, I then dived into some of the comics. And this was before I knew about the game, right? So I checked it out and I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's not bad. And then a few years go by, and then the next thing I know, I'm auditioning for the game. So that's kind of weird. But
yeah. And the last question to wrap up, there are going to be so many amazing songs from the soundtrack from the 80s or earlier. My favorites that I'd recognize Kickstart My Heart, Never Gonna Give You Up, Holding Out for a Hero, and Hanging Tough. What are your favorites from the soundtrack?
Anything by Pat Benatar. I had a huge crush on Pat Benatar when I was a kid. And the other track is it's by the Star-Lord Band.
Yes, I had that installed on my phone.
Bit of good, bit of bad.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Bit of good, a bit of bad.
The whole soundtrack is so good. I have to listen to it on my phone because I could barely get it off my TV. But when I really heard the songs for the first time, I was like, "Whoa, this is really good."
I was pleasantly surprised. It totally brought me back because I'm a child of the 80s, and I was like, "Oh my God, I remember what this is like."
I was born in 97, and I'm kind of an old soul at heart.
Better being an old soul at heart than old soul in your bones. Trust me.
Yeah, I definitely have a thing for the 80s. Everything from that era, I have a lot of favorites.
It was fun.
Like a lot of movies, like you got the classic Texas Chainsaw, Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Yeah.
Like 80s horror was at its best at the time.
Yeah, it was.
We got Die
80s
Hard.
horror, 80s action. 80s action was also pretty good. Well,
Die Hard was a good one.
Yep. Die Hard was excellent. Commando. I said Commando with Schwarzenegger.
Commando for sure. Lots of Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Chuck Norris. Lots of stuff. Just it's hard to replicate.
For sure. But just one more question. Are you currently working on any new projects at the time?
I finished something this summer, and I was on the Jack Reacher television show on I think it's on Amazon. You'll see me getting beat up. I don't know which episode it is. It might be the first or might be the second. I'm not really sure. But there's a big fight scene in a prison shower where Jack Reacher beats me up along with some other guys.
I can't wait for that series to come out.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. If you're a Reacher fan, I think you'll like it. And the other thing I'm working on is the other video game that I've been part of for like the last 10 years, which is For Honor. It's a fighting game. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that you taking the time to chat with me, Jason. I had a
no problem, Belle. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, you by the way, you must have some French ancestry. Your name is French. Belle Goudreau.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wondered if you were aware of it.
Some people think I'm related to the hockey player, so there's no connection there.
Oh well, there's lots. There's lots in this town where I live. There's lots of Goudreau.
I will let you know when the video gets uploaded, and I know you said you have an autograph on the way for me, so I'm still waiting.
Yes, but I need your address. Did you want an actual physical copy, or do you want me to send you a PDF by email? How do you want?
I didn't give you my address.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I thought I did. I added it with the post I sent to you.
It's possible.
I'll send it again, but I always
send it again just to be sure.
Yeah, I would definitely send it again. Soon we're done here, and yeah, physical copies are always good because I have a book full of collectible autographs and stuff. So I always like the physicals.
Got it. Then I'll mail it out.
I didn't even realize I made that mistake, so I'll have to go back and check it.
You may have given it to me, but I'm just gonna let me just double check because I don't recall seeing it, but I just want to double check. Hold on.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Is it?
Yes, in that first text I sent you.
Yeah.
The very first message I sent you.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I got it. All right.
Mail today, so I assumed it was.
I just want to check.
But I guess not.
Sorry?
Oh, I'm expecting something in the mail today, so I assumed it was from you, but I guess not.
It'll be a few days.
Right. I guess it's somebody else then.
You must have lots of fans. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I kind of do. Got a lot of support from a lot of people who are actually pretty well known in the industry. So I got a little lucky with some friends there. I've been collecting autographs a long time and going to conventions and meeting people.
Who do you have?
Oh gosh, I have like thousands.
What? Your book must be like this big.
My Facebook page. I have like 4 autograph books, lots of posters, signed memorabilia.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Not to worry, it's shipping out this week.
All right. Well, I hope you have a really good Christmas this week as well. And
you too. You too.
I will. And literally right after that is my birthday on the 30th. So I'm going to be busy.
So how old are you this year? You said, wait, 97?
I'm going to be 24.
Okay. Good. Good.
All right, well, happy holidays, Jason. I'll let you know when the video is uploaded, and we'll touch base on Facebook.
Okay. Thanks, Belle.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.